A woman went viral on TikTok after her short video series about having been married to a serial killer for 7.5 years. She was asking her followers for help, but it wasn't exactly to escape.
I'm dying, honestly. I'm dying to see him. I'm dying to talk to him again. I have received threats. I will not stop. You will not knock me down. I know my enemies are watching me like an eagle.
So, what's going on and why is Lobna trying to reach people on TikTok? Lobna Yakut got married to her husband Karim Salim in 2014. The couple was living in Cairo, Egypt's capital city. And well, according to Lobna, even though they had a son together, it wasn't a good marriage. She posted a video on TikTok on December 13th.
So I was married to a serial killer for 7.5 years. So basically the serial killer, he tried to kill me many times. He tried to kill my sister many times. And then he got caught with 3 bodies in his apartment in a torture chamber. And he's very known in Egypt and the Arab world. And this was recent. This was 7 months ago. So he had kidnapped my son from me 3 years ago. And anytime I tried to get him, he would basically try to kill me and try to ruin my life and try to find me. I'd be at places and he'd just show up and I'd have to run. And it was just a flippin' nightmare. So finally, when he got caught this May, end of May, they locked him up. He's gonna get hung very soon, hopefully. But the problem is, whenever he got locked up, he told the police that I was dead. So his mom took my son. And till now, it's been 7 months. I haven't seen my son, haven't heard from my son. She's kidnapped him. I filed all police papers, all court papers. I have full custody. I have educational custody. I have every single right. I just could not find this woman. So I just need the English world to hear my story, because very soon I'm going to be on a big channel, something very big that we all have in our house, and you're going to hear my story. But I really hope before that happens, I get my son back, which I'm dying, honestly. I'm dying to see him. I'm dying to talk to him again. I just need as much exposure as possible. And this lady might be in America. She might be still in Egypt. But who knows? Who knows? I need to find her. And I need everyone's help as much as possible.
People expressed their shock towards the situation in the comments. I beg your finest pardon? If my baby got taken from me, inshallah she gets her baby back. No idea how this got to my For You page, but I hope you find your son quickly. I'm deeply sorry for what you've been through. It's heartbreaking to hear your story, and I truly hope your voice will bring awareness and justice. Stay strong. That's insane. Hoping you find your baby. How is this not viral? Lobna received an outpour of support from all over the world, watching from Alberta, Canada, and sending so much love and support and hope. I'm so sorry this is happening. It is just horrifying. You've reached Australia. I am so sorry you're going through this. Boosting. We are listening in USA. And others were boosting her post from different countries. People were trying to give Lobna and her viewers advice on how to make her case go viral. You should do more in English video, as it will help the algorithm for people to find your video. Repost the video to push her story out more, and hopefully someone in media comes across it. Some people were spamming keyboards to push the video in the TikTok algorithm. One person asked whether Salim's mother attended the court proceedings. But this mom attended the tribunal in Egypt, no? Lobna responded. She hasn't been, since she is a wanted criminal like her son. Some people recognized the case and quickly figured out who Salim was on TikTok. Wait, this phonics dude is the serial killer? Salim was an English teacher by profession, often posting on his now suspended TikTok account, Hooked on Phonics.
How do you say this word? Exquisite.
Exquisite.
It means very pretty. And this one? Ecstatic.
Ecstatic.
It means very happy.
People were trying to figure out if his videos were foreshadowing, in hindsight.
And the last one, excruciating, meaning very painful.
Commenters had a lot to say. Anyone else get goosebumps when he said that? Bone-chilling. The eyes really have a way of exposing the darkest parts of a person, and the slightly different micro-expressions he makes with his eyes made my stomach drop. Yeah, especially when we know they found a torture chamber in his house. I'm scared of this world. OMG. Damn, you can see it in his eyes. You can always tell. It's the lip movement and the last word choice in his facial expressions to it. He also sometimes posted videos with his son.
Got to Gotta. I gotta go.
Out of.
Outa. I'm out of time.
Give me.
Gimme. Give me that back.
Let me.
Let me have something.
Want to.
I wanna go home.
People caught on to what Zane said for the example sentence, not the "I wanna go home." My heart breaks with every video I see. The child just cried for help. He just said, "I wanna go home." Some commenters didn't think it was a big deal, starting a discussion. It's just a sentence. It may be, but he was kidnapped by this man and his birth mother can't get to him. I got that, but he looks happy with his dad and doesn't know about anything negative from his dad, so "I wanna go home" doesn't mean he was under pressure or something. They just used it like other sentences. Maybe now he hates his dad, but he looks happy in the video. Feels not accidental. I have strong feeling that the kid didn't know about any of the murders. Lobna had also started a GoFundMe account to raise awareness and funds to find her son back in September. She wrote, 3 years ago, my life took an unimaginable turn when my ex-husband, Kareem Salim, who has now become known as the infamous New Cairo serial killer, kidnapped my son, Zane. Kareem's reign of terror wasn't limited to his criminal acts. He also subjected my family and me to relentless threats. My sisters and I faced countless dangers as we fought to reclaim my son from his grasp. Eventually, I was forced to flee to the UK to protect myself and my family, leaving behind my life, job, and everything I knew. Lobna was asking for help through GoFundMe to cover legal costs and investigative expenses. Let's look at the timeline. It seems like Lobna has been separated from Salim in 2020 due to DV after putting up with him for 6 long years. Zane was 5. And after they were divorced, they were both living in Cairo. Salim obviously insisted on seeing his son Zane. Then, one day in 2021, Salim just didn't return her child following a visit. When Lobna fled to the UK for her safety, it was in 2022, and she wanted to bide her time to return to Cairo to get back her son. Lobna opened up about the disturbing messages that Salim sent. He sent a message request on Instagram to Lobna's little sister. "Hi, whore. Tell the big whore that if she doesn't come out of hiding under a rock and answer me, then I swear to God I will come after you and get to her using you." And sent text messages to Lobna. "Hello, this is Lobna Fun Time. Answer me, you no good excuse for a filthy human. Are you scared or something? From what I hear, you think you are the man around here, huh? Well, we're gonna see how much of a man you really are. Answer me, you disgrace. If you don't answer, you will not be the only one to suffer in all this filth you've brought upon yourself." Lobna captured the screenshot with, "Enjoy every second till your sad, pathetic death, mother." Later, she was horrified when he was convicted. She wrote in her GoFundMe, "A few months ago, justice was served when Kareem was apprehended, found guilty of horrific crimes, and sentenced to death. However, the nightmare was far from over. His mother, Hanan Sadaka, with her wealth and influential connections, seized my son and vanished. Despite me having official custody, Hanan's powerful network has made it incredibly difficult for me to find and retrieve my child. I had been rebuilding my life in the UK, working hard to support myself and prepare for the day I could safely return to Egypt and get my baby back. When I finally received the news that it was safe for me to go back, I made a split decision to fly out with nothing but a single bag and my dwindling savings. Now I am completely out of funds, struggling to pay for legal representation and the resources needed to track down and bring my son back home. Zane was only 6 when he was taken. He is now 9.5. Every day apart from him has been a painful ordeal, and I am determined to reunite with him as soon as possible." Let's back up for a bit and verify Lobna's claims about Salim's crimes. In August 2024, Salim became known as the New Cairo serial killer after his court case made waves in Egyptian media. When Cairo's criminal court case had to seek out the opinion of Egypt's Grand Mufti, the highest religious legal entity in the country that advises the judiciary system on matters where secular and religious law overlap. The criminal court was looking to convict Salim with a death sentence. The 37-year-old was accused of torturing and murdering 3 women between November 2023 in May 2024. He allegedly SA'd the women before and after their deaths, filming incriminating evidence. He also had charges of drug possession, drug trafficking, and human trafficking. The bodies were disposed of in Cairo and Port Said, where they were then tied to the case due to similarities in damage. Salim first denied the charges when his court case started in June, but his lawyer withdrew from representing him during the process, and the prosecution had proof in the form of incriminating video evidence of him in his upscale apartment located in the El Khatamaya district in New Cairo. A room inside the apartment was soundproofed to prevent anyone from hearing the victims. CCTV videos taken from toll stations, as well as subpoenaed phone records for Salim's location, also showed him on his way to and from his trips to dispose of the bodies. While there were 3 bodies found, the investigators thought there were up to 6 victims. Salim is now sentenced to death by hanging. Once she made sure that Salim was behind bars and couldn't hurt her any longer, Lobna returned to Cairo seeking to reunite with Zain, whom she hadn't seen since 2021. However, she suspects Salim's mother, Hanan, might have taken her son Zain to the US since they had lived in Michigan before. And even though Lobna had been appearing on several YouTube interviews speaking Arabic, she's mentioned that she's not confident in her command of the language. She decided to start posting in English on TikTok to reach an American audience in hopes that people would recognize her kid in the US. The mother claims she has been facing threats from Salim's family ever since she started posting on TikTok and fears for Zain's safety as well as her own.
So in the week that I've started posting, I have received threats, and they're telling me that if I don't stop looking for my son, then they're going to get me. I just want there to be a clear message that I will never stop looking for my son, no matter what. I just want you to be assured that I will not stop, you will not knock me down, and I will find my son. I've written everything down that you've told me in my notebook: addresses, advice, addresses of any type of things in America that I need to contact, and I have been taking the steps. I just cannot talk about it on TikTok because I know my enemies are watching me like an eagle. I've had more support than I've ever had since this whole nightmare has started.
Viewers were concerned about Lobna's safety. I really hope you can have someone to protect you, or like the authorities or something, especially knowing what his dad did. I wouldn't stop looking for my son either though. Could you update us on your well-being, Mama? Are you okay? You haven't posted since this video. Please let us know. Some people tried encouraging Lobna to be strong. Stay strong. You are resilient. Mamas never give up. Let's protect this mom and get the kid home safe to his mom. We are here with you, wishing you nothing but the best. You will be with your son soon enough. We will speak it into existence, sending love. My mom found me in a different country. You will find your son. You're not giving up, and that's what matters. You will find him. Remember my words, and regardless of anything, your son will come back to you. Some people had suggestions on what to do next. Can you find a private investigator? Put a GoFundMe where we can donate so you can have the funds to find your son. Don't be scared of any threats, but please do file a police report of these threats and document everything. And some people were just incredulous. Expose who's threatening you. Who's your enemies? They have no right to threaten you. He's your son, so a mother will do anything for her child. Obviously, his mom is a psychopath as well. I was hoping that the update would be that your son had been located. I wish you luck. One person made it clear that Lobna's videos had reached Michigan. I'm in Michigan and have been on the lookout for your boy. I can't even imagine how your mommy heart must feel. Prayers you get him home safely. Lobna had posted an update on her GoFundMe in November, showing court documents that were her proof of custody and what she had done so far to find Zain. She wrote, "I have got a new reliable lawyer. I have won sole legal custody and have full educational rights for Zain, meaning I am the only one that can submit him into any school, etc. My son is missing school because his kidnapper does not want to get caught. I have spent the money on the court cases and mostly to my lawyer. I need another 1,000 urgently to be able to pay for this criminal case we are doing now against the kidnapper. We went with RAML-1 police force to get my son from the address the kidnapper is giving to the courts and stating she lives there. But of course, it's a false address that we did not find her or my son at. I managed to find Zain's previous school that his dad had him at. I hired a private investigator for this. I found out he submitted false papers to the school, also to falsify Zane's previous education history. Updates are so slow because the legal system here is too slow and not straightforward. I have to fight for my rights plus fight off any paid-off connections Hanan, the kidnapper, has that is creating an obstacle for me. I fear for my son's life daily, and I fear this family will kill me. Lobna gave more details about Zane's grandmother on TikTok, who she alleges kidnapped her son.
I was married to a serial killer for 7.5 years, and now his mom has kidnapped my son. I want all of you, you've all done so much so far, I want all of you to use your eyes the best you've ever used them before. So here we have Exhibit A, Hanan Sadaka, also known as Hanan El-Shazli, and her husband. This is Yasser El-Shazli, okay? They're meant to live in Michigan, and they currently have my son. They've told him I'm dead. They told him I don't want him, and I've died in a car crash. Please, TikTok, I know we can do this. Help me find Zane. If anyone's worked with her, if anyone's seen her, if anyone's served her at the shop, if anyone's even heard her name.
People had opinions on what Lobna should do. Why don't you just tell the police about it? This needs to be seen by educators. He has to be enrolled in school. Have you tried to contact the US Embassy and report your case? What should people do if they see them? Call the police? Is there a case open? Are you in the US? Can you contact Egyptian Embassy in the US? Other people were expressing doubt and arguing in the comments. How did they get custody of him? How did he get out of the country and get into the US? They didn't get custody. They kidnapped him. She's the one have custody of him by the Egyptian law. But because they're not in Egypt, so they have him. Why would they tell the kid this? That's insane. Did you try reporting it to the police in the state where they live? Police are useless, especially when it comes to helping POC. I'll repost this for you, but how do you know what they have told him? Have you managed to talk to him? How do you know they've told him that? Lobna responded. Friends from Zane's old school told me he thought I'm dead. Viewers in and around Michigan started responding more. Sent to my family in Michigan. I'm an hour away from Michigan. I'll do whatever I can to help a mommy. I have 4 boys. I couldn't imagine the pain. I have coworkers and friends in Michigan, and I have shared. Thinking of you. Stay strong. With others sharing in hopes someone shows Zane the video. Someone had the idea of skipping authorities and reach influencers instead. Please reach out to well-known influencers to post your story and make it go viral. I've heard of him. I'm sorry you have to go through this hell. And it seems like that's what Lobna did, because she reached out to none other than Stephanie Sue. If you're unfamiliar with Stephanie, she's a content creator who first gained fame from mukbang videos, but later started delving into true crime. On January 12, Stephanie uploaded a video titled, "I received a message from a serial killer's wife asking for help," on her podcast channel, Rotten Mango. And while Stephanie didn't really talk in detail about her conversation with Lobna, she talked about Salim's case, making some reasonable assumptions. According to Stephanie's retelling, Salim had a past in both the US and Michigan and Egypt, and kept moving back and forth with Lobna and Zane. Then Salim allegedly SA'd a woman in the US and therefore wasn't allowed to work there. The family moved to Egypt to start a clean slate, and after Lobna left, he was able to execute his plans to SA and murder young women, using the guise of working as an English teacher to approach them. Stephanie also passed on Lobna's message about her son.
And now Lobna is desperately looking for her son. She reaches out every single day to her son and grandmother. Someone is reading the messages because it says read, but she doesn't know who. She messages her son before she goes to sleep. She doesn't go to sleep much or wake up without thinking about how to get her son back. Her message for her son is, "Zane, I'm never gonna stop looking for you until the day that I die, until my very last breath." She says, "I used to know what his favorite food was. I don't know if it's changed. I don't know if he's taller than me now. I don't know what he looks like other than from the videos and pictures that were posted on Kareem's TikTok. I don't know what his voice sounds like anymore. I can't see my son. I can't talk to him. I don't know what he loves, what he hates now, how he's growing up. I don't know how he lives his life. I don't know if he goes to school, if he likes school, what subjects he likes. I don't know anything." Because also, you have to think from 6 to 9, it's a huge developmental period where a lot of things change. Her last memory was about a week before she last saw her son. Zane asked to purchase a bunch of balloons at the store, and the two of them walked around the shopping center, and he would give out balloons to strangers. And she thought it was so fascinating. That's who her son is. He's the type to open doors for strangers for her. And for right now, Lubna's life is on hold. That's kind of how she explains it. She doesn't feel good. She just wants her son back. She's lost about 40 pounds in the past few months, but she's not going to give up. She says when they reunite, she's going to take him to the beach because that's our thing. We love the beach. In one interview in Arabic, she says, "Someone please help me. Someone stand up with me. Come with me, please. I finally reached the end. I may look okay and be talking on the outside, but on the inside, I'm broken."
And it seems like Stephanie contributed $1,000 to Lobna's cause on GoFundMe. Meanwhile, Lobna is still dealing with legal hurdles as well as the general lack of support from authorities in Egypt. On January 13th, she wrote an update. "Despite my relentless efforts, I remain alone in Egypt, facing significant challenges and threats that have hindered my ability to work and sustain myself. The lack of support from local authorities has been disheartening, and I have received threats to my life that have made it unsafe for me to continue working, further exacerbating my situation. Despite these challenges, I remain steadfast in my determination to find Zane and bring him home safely." This situation overall is quite sad. It's unclear whether Zane even knows his mother is alive and well, desperately searching for him. Lobna doesn't seem to have a clear lead on whether her former mother-in-law, Hanan, is hiding in Egypt or away on the other side of the world in Michigan, or even another US state. And it really doesn't seem like her ex would be willing to point her in the right direction. We could only hope to see Lobna reunite with her son. What do you think about the situation?